Hey everybody, Mike here. So I want to take a second to go over 4 different items that I used in my kitchen when we remodeled last year to accomplish the under cabinet lighting that you see behind me here. The first thing we used was this light strip that's made by VOCOlinc. I've had really good luck with the VOCOlinc products in the past that I've purchased, so we decided to stick with this brand on this as well. And after the last year and a half, I'm extremely glad that I did so. These lights sync up with HomeKit perfectly, and I can't think of a single time I've had a problem where these lights haven't functioned the way they're supposed to. They've also got some neat scenes and different lighting effects you can do with them. I'm not as much interested in, but the kids really enjoy being able to change the colors on the lights, especially during the holidays. We actually decided to buy a second set of these to go around the back side of the TV to help illuminate the wall while we're watching TV as well. And same thing goes, we usually leave it on the same color throughout the year, except for during the holidays. We'll let the kids change the colors to the different effects and colors that they want, depending on what decorations we put out. Now, in order to accomplish the install that I did behind me here on the under cabinet lighting, we picked up a few other items. In order to get from this cabinet here over, I needed to be able to cut the light strip and run a piece of wire up through the ceiling and down to this cabinet. To accomplish that, I ordered this reel of 22 gauge wire that is 4 conductor, which is what you need for the VOCOlinc lights to be able to mate them back up after you've cut the strip. If you're good at soldering, you can go that direction as well. In my case, I didn't want to chance that, so I went with these little connectors. Here's a piece of LED strip that I cut off that was extra that I ended up not using. As you can see on here, there's these 4 conductors at the end of your strip where it tells you to cut it. So if you peel back that rubber coating off the strip to expose the conductors, you can slide that little conductor right in over the teeth that are inside there. And then when you crimp that down, it creates a secure connection. You can actually leave that little rubber coating down, but I found that I had mixed results with doing that when I tried it both ways. So I liked peeling back just a little bit of that coating before I actually made the connection. Now, the other thing I purchased was a set of this aluminum channel that I cut down to fit underneath each cabinet. And the reason I did this, once you've put this little strip over your channel, it helps diffuse that light and throw that light more evenly across your counter, so it doesn't have as many hot spots. The other reason I did that is because on these LED strips, if you've never used these before, I've not really found an LED strip that has a strong adhesive coating on the back, and I wanted the best chance possible of that light being able to stick. And I felt like the aluminum, not only was it going to stick better to the aluminum, when you mount this under the cabinet, it actually puts that light down at a 45-degree angle and throws it more towards the back of the cabinet, so it shines more on the backsplash instead of just straight down or straight out. These aluminum channels came in a 5-pack. Each of these pieces are just over 3 feet long. So I had a few extras when I did my install. The strips come in just over a 16-foot length. Your roll of wiring is 100 feet. So I had quite a bit of extra of this. And then your little connectors, I got a 10-pack and I only used like 4 of. So I've got extras if I ever decide I want to add on or if I need to replace parts. Now, when I mentioned that this adhesive isn't very strong, on the cabinets, when I use it in conjunction with this aluminum strip, it's held up great and I haven't had any issues. When I mounted this to the back of the TV, I had a heck of a time getting the LED strips to stay without falling. So the fix that I found was I picked up some command strips and I mounted those around the perimeter of the TV where I wanted those lights to sit. And since then, over the last little over a year or so, those lights have held in place since then. Now, what's really nice about these lights, like I said earlier, was I've got mine running on HomeKit, but you can also use them with Google or with Alexa. And I really like that option because, like on the lights back here behind me, I have those set to turn on just before sunset, and then they turn off just a little bit after sunrise. So they run all night. Now, the other thing I did too that's really neat is I have them set up to where they run at like a 60% brightness for the first few hours, and then just before we go to bed, I have them dimmed down to about 15%, so they're just ever so slightly on throughout the night. But if we come in the kitchen in the middle of the night, we can see where we're going without actually having to turn a light on. So it's really nice. The one downside to the functionality of these strips is that in order to access all the functions and effects within these lights, you have to use the VOCOlinc app natively. So what I do is I've got everything set up through HomeKit for all my day-to-day operations. And when I change the colors, I can actually set up an animation within HomeKit and change the color to that one color. But I haven't found a way to actually do some of the effects that you can run through or where the lights will dance. I haven't figured out how to actually use those through HomeKit yet. So I still use the VOCOlinc app in conjunction with HomeKit to be able to access all the functions within these lights. But even with that little downside, I've still found these to be a very reliable set of lights that I've been happy with for the last about a year and a half. And I don't anticipate any problems coming in the near future. They've been an extremely reliable and nice light to have. So if you're interested in doing an install like I have, whether it be on the back of your TV, maybe around the perimeter of a room, or like I did underneath my cabinets, check out these 4 items I've shown you in the video and see which ones might be right for you, whether it be the wire and the little connectors, this aluminum channel with a diffuser, and this LED strip made by VOCOlinc. I think you'll be really happy with them regardless.